The Lakers lose tonight, man. They lost to the Grizzlies. All right. I think the final score was something like 110 to 105 or something like that, right? Lakers fall to 29 and 31 on the year. Right now, they're projected to go like 40 and 42 or 39 and 43, which would only be a 4 or 5 game improvement over what the Lakers did last year. Suffice to say, this has been a very disappointing season, and they're not making the playoffs. Um, I mean, I think that the eighth seed is probably going to get somewhere. They're probably going to finish at the very least, and this is pushing it, 44 wins. I think it's like 45, but 44 wins, 45 wins. So for Lakers to have a realistic shot at making the eighth seed, they're going to have to finish the season like 16 and 6. And if you look at their schedule, they got to play the Warriors again. They got to play the Bucks twice. They got to play. I was looking at tickets live stream, man. They got to play the Celtics. They got to play the Raptors. You know what I'm saying? They got to play some other good teams, some really competitive. They really don't have like any bad teams they're playing. So theoretically, man, the Lakers may not even get to 40 wins. So, and I don't want to hear no excuses about LeBron missing 17 or 18 games from the fucking LeBron tars. I don't want to hear none of that shit, okay? Golden State won 11 games, okay? They won 11 games without Curry, okay? And for those of you who say, well, LeBron ain't got no teammates like Curry have, okay, well, look, I remember the Bulls in 98, man. The Bulls in 98, right? We went, what? If I'm not mistaken, 38 games. The first 38 games of the season, we didn't have Scottie Pippen. Scottie, if I'm not mistaken, only played 44 games that year. He missed like 38 games, I think it was. And we still won 62 games. It's called making adjustments. And I think the Lakers actually did okay without LeBron. They would have probably done better, of course, with him on the court, but they did okay. The problem was the Lakers losing a lot of games earlier in the season that they should have won. And now they're losing games since the self-proclaimed GOAT came back. They're losing games that they should have won. And then bring this up too. In the 94 season when nobody thought the Bulls was going to win more than 45 games or 40 games, the year they won 55 games, Scottie Pippen missed the first 10 games of the season due to injury. So if you think about it, shit, the Bulls could have had first seed in the Eastern Conference. But anyway, to add insult to injury, right? To add insult to injury, this is what LeBron James said after the game, right? After their loss. Quote, if you're still allowing distractions to affect the way you play, this is the wrong franchise to be a part of, and you should just come in and be like, listen, I can't do this. Let's see. This is my issue with LeBron James, man. Well, one of my many issues with LeBron, right? Number one, I think that he strategically says shit like this to present this image of this uber competitive, alpha male player who doesn't accept losing, which is bullshit. Okay, because the man has lost 6 out of 9 finals. It wasn't for Real Allen to be 7 out of 9. Okay, but he tries to present this image, and he says these things knowing that that's going to help to control the narrative in tomorrow's sports shows. They're going, his fanboys, which are a lot of them, Brian Windhorst, Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, even though Chris Broussard is kind of, wavering a little bit, Shannon Sharp, the list, Marcellus Wiley, the list goes on and on and on. Katino Mobley, you know what I'm saying? From what I'm been hearing from him, he's a LeBron fan. All right. He gives these guys talking points or fuel he gives these guys fuel for their talking points. And then the other thing about what he's saying is, who are you talking about, LeBron? Um, if you're the GOAT, right? You said you're the GOAT. The LeBron, the expectations for you are greater. If you are indeed the GOAT, which you're not, but if you are the GOAT, expectations for you, LeBron, are greater than Kobe, Mike, Wilt, Russell, Magic, Bird. If you're the GOAT, then you're supposed to be able to lead your team past mediocre teams. I remember a game all the way back in 2003, I think it was. I think it was 2002, 2003 season. I think it was that year. And Shaq was injured for a little stretch, right? And I remember the Lakers were playing the Grizzlies. I think they were still in Vancouver at the time. I think it was just before they moved to Memphis. And I remember Kobe took on the challenge of being the man. All right. I think it was during that stretch when he had like averaged 40 points per game for the month. And I remember Kobe dropping 56 points in 3 quarters against that team. I remember when Brandon Roy was balling for the Blazers, man. I think it was like 06, 07. I remember Kobe had this crazy game against them, man. I think he had like 65 points in overtime. Hit impossible 3-pointers. This guy was hitting turnaround, fall away 3-pointers, going out of bounds to tie the game and shit. I mean, look, I used to be a big critic of Kobe, man. Y'all know that, you know. But I always knew Kobe was an exceptional player. I just got annoyed at the media compare. Well, I got the fact they compared him to Mike, but I used to get annoyed at people saying he was better than Mike. You know what I'm saying? I just never agreed with that. But I know one thing, and it might surprise some people to hear me say this. He's better than you, LeBron, because Kobe wouldn't just be going on social media dissing his teammates or dissing his teammates in quotes or posting pictures on, in social media. Kobe would go on the court and proceed to bust the opponent's ass for 40 points in the first half. He would do whatever it took when he was physically capable of doing it. The last couple of years, Kobe wasn't really physically capable of putting up the performances he did when he was his prime. Even that 60-point game that he had in the last game of his career, the team kind of had to help him get that 60. You know what I'm saying? Like they force fed him. You know, that's why he took 50 shots to get the 60 points. But still, when Kobe Bryant was physically capable of carrying a team, he did that. You're supposed to be physically capable of carrying a team. If you know that the Lakers, you don't have the talent around you that you quote unquote seem to need to be successful, then you should be elevating your game, not missing 15 or 23 shots and still not playing defense, padding your numbers to get triple doubles and shit. That's the shit that I see in you that pisses me off. Mike was older than you when he wasn't playing with Pippen. Mike had to be a scorer. Mike had to step up on defense. Mike had to be a playmaker. Sometimes when Dennis wasn't playing, Mike had to hit the boards. Mike was exhausted during the '98 season. You could even see it in the press conferences after some of the playoffs games. He didn't sound like himself. He was fucking tired. But the thing that drove him is that thing in his chest that you don't have. You don't have that, LeBron. A leader doesn't throw his underlings under the bus. A leader takes responsibility for losses. You can sit back in that chair like you some king motherfucker, but you ain't no king. You think you a fucking mafia boss or some shit, man. You soft as fucking Twinkie feeling, man. This dude not in my top 10, man. I'm sorry. I know that sounds stupid. Maybe I'm, over exaggerating. Maybe I'm overdoing it with that, man. But I'm at a point now. I can think of legitimate reasons why I couldn't put him ahead of Mike, Kareem, Wilt, Magic, Bird, Russell, Oscar, Shaq, Kobe, Duncan. I can legitimately think of reasons not to put you ahead of those guys. That's 10 dudes right there. Matter of fact, I think I will do that. You're not top 10 to me no more, man. You're a fraud. You're a fucking team cancer. You ruin organizations. It's LeBron's way or the highway. You have no consideration for your teammates, the organization, none of that shit. Look what you did to D Wade, man. Supposedly your best friend. You kind of remind me of like that dude from Martin, man, Varnell Hill, man. A big fucking phony. You know what I'm saying? You come across like you're a nice guy, but in reality you're a fucking phony. I remember that scene when Martin was in the audience. No, well, he was in the audience, but then he got on stage for the Varnell Hill show. And I think Fred Rerun Bird was in the crowd. And Varnell was like, yeah, we always tell people, man, you should come to my place, but we don't really mean it. You can ask him, you can ask Fred, ask Rerun, he'll know. And Rerun was like, yeah, I don't know how. He said, Fred, how many times have I invited you to come to my house? I think he said something like, all the time. And he said, what'll happen if you show up at my house? I'm probably gonna get sprayed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a phony, man. You're a phony, LeBron. You're a fucking phony ass dude, man. You know, I'm like, I don't even like really have no fire in this video. I know I don't, man, because it's sad. It's really sad that the media, the disparity between what is reality and what the media is presenting is dumbfounding. Now they're going to proceed to suck his dick, LeBron, because he's about to pass Michael in scoring, right? Even though, and let me check something out right quick. Michael played in 1,072 games. Oh, you know I'm going there with that. Michael played in 1,072 games. LeBron so far has played in 1,184 games, right? And he has 32,138 points. So we look at what he's averaging this season. He's probably going to pass Michael. He's about 100 and what is that? 150 something points away. So he'll probably pass Michael. What would that be? Another 5 or 6 games, right? Let's just say 5 or 6 games. So you have played about 100, close to 120 more games in your career to pass him. That's like a season and a half. You're not the scorer that he was. You know what I'm saying? You're not the player that he was. Michael Jordan could do everything that you do, LeBron, but he did whatever the team needed of him. If he needed to be a guy, put up 40, 50 points, he could do that. But there were many games when Michael was a facilitator, but that's not the popular notion or the popular, you know, presentation of Jordan's game that they put out there. But I remember lots of times, especially when the Bulls became a great team, where Michael sometimes held back offensively and let Scottie do his thing. Then certain nights when Mike's shot wasn't falling, shit, he's like, okay, well, if Pippen was going, he'll let Pippen take the role, take the lead offensively. Michael be the defensive cat. Michael will be the guy, that's the facilitator. Michael will be the guy that's hitting the boards. But you don't see that, media narrative because they don't fit what they want to present. But you, LeBron, you need a certain type of team to be successful. You need shooters. If you don't have shooters, then you can't win. And that shows the limitation in your game. Straight up. That's the limitation that you have in your game. And that's why you're not the GOAT. And that's why officially, as of tonight, you are no longer in Two Raw's top 10. I don't know about anybody else's, but I don't put you in my top 10 anymore, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can easily put up a case why Tim Duncan was a better player than you. And Tim Duncan held his game back. Tim Duncan could have been a dude putting up 27, 28, and 12, 13 points. But he held his game back for the betterment of the team. He let other people get shine, especially as he got older. Especially as his team became more complete with great players like Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Steven Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Fuck this dude, man.